Good day to you from Anagalactic. It is a Sunday morning. It's about the time the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor several decades ago. We're just 3 days before Christmas. We're 2 days before Christmas Eve, which is, to me, I always like Christmas Eve more than Christmas Day. But they do go together, and it's really one day. The night before Christmas and the morning after. Nobody is certain when the Christ child was born, but it certainly wasn't in late December. It's conjectured, although really nobody knows. You do get some clues, such as the fact that there are sheep and cattle out. None of that is certain. Nobody knows anything. And as for the wise men, it might have happened, but it's so improbable that the Christ child was visited by 3 wise men from the east. Do you have any idea how far that was in those days? Don't forget, the only means of transportation they had was camels. Camels. Now, I don't know if you know the history of warfare. Once men learned how to use horses, actually that destroyed Europe. Once men in the East learned how to use horses, this isn't greatly emphasized in our history classes, but just as Europe was kind of getting underway after the Christ child was murdered by Judans. He himself is purported not to have been a Judan, except by his mother's semiotic material, that is, her ovum. Now, usually this is not discussed, because I would be burned at the stake for discussing too openly the origin of the Christ child. It is remarkable to me, even at this late date, having been a Christian, I was 17 years old. Right away I knew that there was something fishy with the story. I mean, as I and my 2 sisters were growing up in California, which is civilized enough in the 1950s and 60s. It was civilized enough. All the redwood trees had been chopped down. The San Francisco Bay, the most miraculous place on earth, bar none. Yosemite is shit compared with the San Francisco Bay. So the 49ers, the same assholes from Europe, responsible for killing all the redwoods, just mowing them down. Those same buttholes filled in the San Francisco Bay with death silt. How do you destroy a bay of that size? And so it could not have been the goddamned 49ers. Those things that you worship in the sky because they bring you money and sex. Those are the UFOs, aren't they? Of course they are. As you well know, when the 3 wise men, they came all the fucking way from Persia, which today is called Iran. Admire the Iranian people for as long as they exist. It's hard to prophesy this, so I won't try to be exact. The Israeli nation is back on the map. Judah is not Israel. Israel was exported by the Assyrians, who were way to the north. It was the Persians who came in and hauled off the Jews. God brought them back. But God is the one who deported the mother Jews. You know why? They're just like you and me. That's why in the Bible you're supposed to forgive. So when the 3 wise men, they were from Tehran, they were from Iran. They're sand niggers, as the American Marines called them. They're sand. That's, the Jews called them that. The Jews hate them so badly. It's beyond demonic. They're their direct competitors for the love of God. And the Jews know they'll never have the love of God. Although as individuals, a Jew can turn back to God. I have never known a Jew who turned back to God. But they could, if they, any one of them could. I think maybe Norman Finkelstein might, because I'm not God, I'm not an angel, I don't know. But I certain the fuckly duty am a rational free man, and I can say whatever the... So when the three wise men came to visit the baby Jesus, the Christ, I always laugh because my mother had a manger. I and my two sisters would see the manger. My mother was so excited every year. She would delicately put out all the pieces to the manger scene, which was quite extensive. But it was small, it was nice. She would set it up by the bricks of the fireplace. We had a nice home, but, you know.
I thought it was great, and so did my mother, so everyone was happy.
She'd set up this manger scene every year. And of course, the last thing we would watch, sisters would watch, because knew this had to do with sex. Because when you're little, you know something's going on, you know. First comes Halloween, where, you know, obviously the human race is a little fucked in the head. And then comes Thanksgiving. Oh, but the human race also knows about goodness. And then comes Christmas, which is just a strange mixture and something way beyond Halloween and Thanksgiving. Here's this baby, and here's what I'm leading up to. The three wise men, the donkey, whatever, the elephant, whatever else, the ostrich. You can't set up buzzards flying overhead because you'd have to hang them from the ceiling. My mother never got that far. Finally, there's the crib. You know, you recognized the crib. And here comes the baby Jesus lying on its back with its two legs, just one of them partly kicked up in that cherubic English style, like this is what a baby looks like. It's just got some curls. No, it would have been bald, for Christ's sake. Sorry. And it's lying on its back with its arms extended, knowing that it's going to be crucified in 33 years. So it just looks, you know, terrified, because it's a baby lying on its back naked. Yes, naked. How did the sculptor make the baby Jesus' loin? Which his legs are just slightly splayed, so he's kicking them up in the air. And all three of us just... What does the baby Jesus' dick area look like? All three of us stared every year. It's actually magnificently done. You had to get close, like nose length from this, and stare. You could see the little tiny baby of the mother of God's nutsack with a little tiny penis, because they are tiny, even when they're fully extended. I mean, if it's mine anyway. Scottish dick looks about that size no matter what. Although my wives seem to make it bigger, you know what I mean? Got to get some help there. Oh, honey, I've never felt it so large. And then she rolls her eyes back in her head and just silently, you know, and you realize she just had a good time with your Jesus's baby dick of your own. But it had a little tiny, I am serious here, a little tiny red dot, like a microdot, so you know where the pee-pee comes out when he's peeing blood being beaten to a pulp by Roman thugs, while Peter just waited outside beating off. He cried about it later. So the manger scene is nothing to screech about, but here's the good part. There are three wise men. How does anybody know these men are wise? They're not Israelis. They're not even Jewish. They're not part of the people of God. Well, in some strange sense, they are more people of God. Because when they were told to go visit the baby Jesus, they rode their fucking camels 1,000 fucking miles to visit this nigger baby. Don't forget that the Jews are from Africa. They're watermelons. Or wait, eggplants. The Jews are eggplants. They've been in Europe so long. They're like Netanyahu. You know what Netanyahu means? He's basically the reincarnation of Hitler. Netanyahu didn't go visit the baby Jesus. When Netanyahu was alive back then, and the mother of God is giving birth to the baby child God, as the Catholics would come to say it, because the Jews actually taught them to say that, that is a fact. All this shit that you hear that makes you hate religion, they made the Catholic Church. You really want to piss off a Sicilian? Oh, which I don't recommend. Tell them that not only are you 1/4 eggplant, you're basically 50% Benji. They will chase you is worse than calling them guineas, which I had to look up because I heard it once too. Why? I like Italian. Well, I like Jews. But God has favorites and God does not like. I do. I think they're funny. But I don't ever want to get near a political Jew. I mean, you get arguments from people who hate Jews so much. It's just a question of who hates the Jews most. So who are these wise men? Well, I picture one of them as looking exactly like, let's see if we still have that on the screen. I've almost got it. Not Bill Burr. No, we don't want Bill Burr. Ali the Dazzling. Here we go. We almost got it. I don't like him without a beard. I think he should always have a beard. He's a very handsome man. That's why I wanted you to see this.
You don't understand. You don't understand.
Fucking commercial. So I'll just let that run through. There he is. Look at that. That is an Iranian. He's a Persian. It doesn't make any difference what country he's from. Technically, he's an American now. But really, what is he? Well, I obviously am not African. I'm not an eggplant. I'm not Italian. I'm not Jewish. I'm not Chinese. It looks like I came from somewhere where it was wet and cold and damp and rainy, just inclement. And that's Scotland, exactly. So I look Scottish. I'm not saying I look better or worse than Ali, but I think we both can tell who's better looking. I'm like a pink turnip down here with a malignant, distended face. It's obviously designed to just lie. Whereas Ali, I look at him and I go, at least two of the Magi look just like Ali does. And I'm thinking, God, I wish all my friends looked like Ali. I wish I looked like Ali, but...
At all.
He probably does not have a peepee with a little tiny red dot at the end. I do. The next door neighbor being born child can't afford the real manger scene with a Christ child. It's me. I'd have an even tinier red microdot and no nutsack because it hadn't descended yet. That's genetics, my friend. I can't fight that. All I can do is raise my voice in my old age. Well, that's why old men... better watch out. That old geezer with the cane, he doesn't look like it, but if he picked it up one last time, he could run you down like a jaguar and beat your head in with that goddamn shillelagh and then instantly die of a heart attack because that was overstressful. But he'll take you out before he croaks. Ali, I think, doesn't he look peaceful? But then, you know, as kids we learned, all of us have a mean streak if we're poked into it. You jumped off the teeter-totter and almost busted my spine, you bitch. Or we don't know have no gender. You bitch or bastard. Then you try to chase him down where they're laughing. Everyone's laughing hysterically. But your bent, crooked spine is going to take a good night's sleep. You can't chase anything down. And so you just settle back and just learn to laugh. Oh, you're so fucking funny. Well, I don't see Ali doing that. He would be like standing around looking at me and then he'd want to bring me presents like, Hold fast, little white pink slug.
From under the rocks of sky.
But Ali is great, and then I'd follow him home and his family. Oh my God, what have they done to you in those white hovels of Northern Europe? Come in and have some. And I'm like, yum, yum, gosh, yum, 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 yum. Here, have some shish kebab. Jesus, gulp. Oh my God, he's hungry. And they adopt me. Just adopt me because they're from heaven. Well, that's why they went to visit the Christ child, and your ancestors didn't. That's really all I wanted to say. I hope you enjoyed our Christmas carol. I'll have a little more this evening. It's morning. And it's not even Christmas, but I'm gearing up because I don't have too many Christmases left. This could be my last. Oh, don't worry. I actually do think it's funny. It's not even a pretense. You have to go through these levels of dealing with death. Then you got to figure it out by 25. Well, obviously, drugs are an antidote. And then you go through, I'll get married. No, I'll fly to Mars. No, I'll study science. God, maybe I'll just stare at my belly button in the mirror for 10 years and just drink, decaffeinated coffee. And then I'll figure out death. Meanwhile, death comes to you in your sleep and just...
I will get you.
Once you've gone through all the, I'm not afraid of you. You didn't come visit the baby Jesus. Yes, I did. Oh, shit, yes, he did. When the three wise men rode out from Afghanistan, yes, Persia, which is Iran, and some other country out there that I guess is Tajikistan, or Uzbekistan.
Or God knows what is stan, okay?
Because the commies got most of those. That's why all the great UFC fighters with their beards like Nurmagomedov, they're all commies. And he would perhaps grab me and drag me into the ring but he has a good sense of humor because the Persians are cultured. You can tell by looking at Ali. That's not an American. Synonymous with imbecile. No, he's cultured. He's intelligent. He is. Well, so they would be Christians. No, they're super Christians. They are so Christian that they're beyond the foibles of Christianity. They tried to talk with the Romans, that is, the Vatican, because of the Crusades. Let's go back to Jerusalem, kill these sad niggers, and we'll have rape and wealth. And the Pope was like, go forth. You know who the Pope was at that time? They looked like Ali here. Well, that actually was Shmuel. The actual name of the Pope at that time, and had been since the time of Josephus. It wasn't the Pope who came to visit the baby Jesus child. Satan tried to chase down the three wise men so there'd be nobody to take away from the glory. The glory of Israel was busy being born in their midst. They didn't even know it. So Satan not only tried to kill the Christ child by murdering every baby, just to see if maybe they own the Vatican. They own Trump. Trump is what we in the industry call an albino eggplant. And I dare Donald Trump to unzip and pull down, and let's see
Donald, asshole, malignant,
Golda Meir-headed, because my best friend, who is a Jew, and his name is R.D., and he's still alive.
He is homo for you.
You made my Jewish friend become a faggot for your pink fanny, you Christ child hating booger. Merry Christmas to the children. Give all of your children a kiss right on their foreheads where the bullet. Now go to sleep. This is Anagalactic. bringing you the secrets of Christmas. Ali believes in Christ. God loves Ali. God does not like any except me. And to all a good night. Keep looking up, okay?